Hello, everyone. Welcome to AMA with Collective Finance. I have the pleasure to host it, and with me today are Dog and Chrome.
Hey guys, how's
Hi,
it going?
everybody.
Go
How
ahead,
are you
Doc.
doing?
That's the awkward. We all talk over
Yeah,
each other there. So, no, we're glad to be back. Thanks for having us as always. Q, we'll have some familiar faces we see out there and some new ones too. So, we're glad to be back, and this will probably be the first of many when we're in the Vertek server talking collective finance.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely, always a pleasure. I mean, we'll get into it, but we know that Vertek and Collective Finance. That's our main partner. We just made our first investment, in Vertek and being in the Volta. So I'm sure we'll talk about that. But consider it's all the home team. So just always love talking to you guys too. The Dex is running great as well.
Yeah, yeah. This we ironed out quite a lot of bugs, so a lot is running smooth right now, which I'm very glad about.
Yeah,
nice.
absolutely. Well, yeah. If you guys don't mind, I think maybe Chrome, if you would just want to give everybody a 5,000 foot overview of collective finance. I think a lot of people might know the basics already, but we can just walk through it and then whatever you think, Phil. If we want to jump into questions, I think we'd like to talk definitely about the angel and the seed round. We're going to be bringing that to a close here and transitioning. So I say, Chrome, if you're cool with it, give everybody a quick rundown.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
absolutely.
might wanna maybe introduce yourself a bit to the people who don't know you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, my name's Chrome. I'm also known as Monkey, also known as Jacob. I'm kind of like the head of operations here and social media guy over at Collective. I've had a few years of experience now in DeFi and crypto, and I've been helping on projects and building in the space, building communities, things like that. So, Um, yeah, I've been around for a little bit of time now, and we're getting pretty excited to start this up. I'll let Doc take over.
Yeah, everybody, I'm Doc. Brian's my real name. I know a lot of you, and you probably see a lot of me around, especially in the Vertex servers. So a little background about myself. I'm a physician in the real world. I've also become an entrepreneur and business owner over the past 10 years or so. I have three different businesses now, one of them multinational. I've been a big investor. I've been a gold bug and precious metals guy for a while. I've been in the crypto space for seems like forever now, but I think maybe 2015 or so is when I started. And really, my goal at Collective Finance is acting as with protocol oversight, fundraising, investor relations, protocol relationships as well. So glad to be here. A little quick about our other two co-founders. So Cripsom or Zach, all of you may know him around as well. He's another big angel investor in the crypto space. He's also a real world business owner like myself. Zach does a lot of stuff off chain, with regard to capital raising and then the refi industry as well. And then NP, everybody knows NP. NP is sort of the silent ninja on the collective finance team, who's really helps us behind the scenes and from the tech standpoint. And it's obviously the perfect liaison between Vertek and collective finance. So that's our squad. We've all been KYC with the shirt DeFi, and we dox ourselves time and probably many times to come in the future.
Yeah, if you want, we've actually done recently 2 live video AMAs where we go more in depth on the team and who we are, our backgrounds and stuff. So if you want to learn more about that, I highly recommend going to check out those videos. They're up on our YouTube channel and posted in a playlist in our server everywhere. So yeah, if you want to learn more about the team specifically, I definitely recommend just checking out those live videos.
Okay, great. Then let's go ahead and give us an overview, please, about collective finance.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Collective Finance is a project that we're launching on Binance, and we're going to be issuing over collateralized commodity representations, and that being gold, silver, and diamonds. We're going to be backing and over collateralizing these assets with the asset that they're representing. So gold backing gold, diamonds backing diamonds, silver backing silver. And yeah, we're going to be issuing those here on Vertek. It's going to be the only DEX on BSC where you can freely trade commodities like gold, silver, and diamonds and be able to capture the upside and downside of those assets. So the issue is in the real world, you can only trade commodities like gold and silver and stuff on weekdays. There's high fees, so you're very limited and it's very a closed system. By issuing these into DeFi, it's going to be a lot more decentralized, a lot more open, freely tradable at all times of the day. So you're not limited to brokers or high fees, anything like that. And yeah, that's kind of the core of what we're doing. We want to bring security and safety to the blockchain and these style of commodity assets and allow participants to capture the upside as well as earn yield.
It's a good explanation, Chrome. In short, one of the things we like to say that we're doing is we're giving participants the opportunity to gain exposure, yield-bearing exposure to digital gold, that being really Bitcoin, as well as real-world gold, right, in the form of our C Gold, which is backed by PaxG, and to not only be able to, provide exposure to both of those, but as we said, yield earning exposure. And we've created a system that provides multi-layer yield in return to the participants while intrinsically always applying growth and stability throughout it. So our idea is pretty novel, I think, with regard to it's not a traditional seniorage protocol. There's not any crazy rebases or APYs, but it's really built on a foundation of stability and growth, and then given back to the participants through our liquid lock staking program.
Yeah, I think it's good to note that we're not doing this through seniorage or anything. Everything will be hard pegged to these assets, so it will not be subject to market volatility and people needing to hold the peg, things like that. That's absolutely not what we're doing here. It's going to be pegged just like a stable coin is to $1. It's also good to note these are not like synthetics at all, and nothing is really forked here. This is all unique because as we're going to be backing gold with gold, diamonds with diamonds. So you won't see us needing to, acquire more stable coins to meet collateralization or anything like that. And yeah, this isn't a fork or anything like that. Totally new.
If I'm not mistaken, you have recently changed from BUSD to Bitcoins, correct?
Yeah, we decided to make a pretty good push and pivot to switch our CLF token pairing to Bitcoin. And so the CLF token is the native token, not the gold token, not the silver token, not the diamond token. It's the native ecosystem token, which acts essentially as the oil in the engine. So CLF will be kind of the backbone of the ecosystem, and it's going to be paired with Bitcoin, technically BTCB, for on Binance. And yeah, we believe that'll allow participants who are participating in the ecosystem to, have a more, I guess, safe and reliable LP position as it can capture the upside of a bull run, which most inevitably will come soon.
Okay, that sounds really good. And CLF is basically like the crypto stock for a better understanding or for the lack of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and Crow, maybe you could post the one infographic in the questions that's participating in collective finance and how that works. So if you really think about, and in our protocol, there's going to be two different main pairings. The native pairing is going to be CLF and essentially wrap Bitcoin or Binance Bitcoin, as we discussed. And then we're also going to have C Gold, and that's going to be paired with USDC. The C Gold USDC pairing will really serve almost as a revenue stream for the protocol, as well as providing exposure. So it can be sometimes a little bit confusing whenever you talk about our different native tokens. But as Chrome said, our CLF will be paired with Bitcoin, and our C Gold or our C tokens in general will be paired with USDC. So And we actually made that pivot, sort of like you said, fuel based off of the recent FUD that was happening with BUSD. It's interesting because Paxos, who issues PaxG and it's regulated in the financial district, they're also the ones who do BUSD. So we asked ourselves as a protocol, and it was actually brought up to us by a few of our angels, um,
Yeah.
how stable are some of these stable coins really, and ultimately I think we felt that Bitcoin provided just as good a stability, as well as a floor and obviously potential better upside than any of the stables. So we thought it was a really great pivot. Everyone seems to have embraced it so far. And everyone likes to get their hands on more Bitcoin, right? So, well,
Yeah. Bitcoin is it's Bitcoin. It's like the big daddy. Everyone knows it.
Exactly, it's the big daddy. It's like
yeah, and
you
I
can't hurt by having some Bitcoin in your wallet. It's always like, probably one of the better assets that you could be holding. So 100%.
Yeah,
yeah,
for
and I think
sure.
when you look at what happened with BSD, I mean, this was basically just a government intervention, right? And how do you sort of separate yourself from that too? I think Bitcoin offers that best sort of decentralization, immutable type position. So yeah, we're super pumped to have Bitcoin with CLF. And then again, you get exposure to both digital gold and real world gold and earn yield on both of them.
Yeah. And how do you generate the yield?
Yeah, so that is, and we can drop another infographic in there. When you look at collective finance, there's basically three different revenue streams. We have these broken down. It's the treasury, the portfolio, and the vault. And a quick overview on these. The vault is essentially, it's really traditionally, or I'm sorry, the treasury is traditionally what you would think of in the crypto space. That being that it's like the protocol bank. It's going to be the owner of protocol owned liquidity. It's going to receive protocol emissions, responsible for rewards. The portfolio, the second part, is going to be a collection of on-chain assets. And these are going to be mobilized in different fashions. So, for example, part of the portfolio might be under the guidance of some trading bots. There might be some liquid staking. There could be traditional yield farming, and then some altcoin positions as well. And then
Yeah.
the third portion is going to be the vault, and the vault is that's our owner and the holder of our C tokens. So think about the holder of our gold tokens or our diamond tokens or the silver tokens. So from launch, the vault will own the main protocol own liquidity position for circulating C gold. Thus, that is going to provide rewards in the sense of traditional farming, emissions, as well as there's going to be a 2% in and out fee in that pool, which will be split between collective finance and the DEX. So when you take all of these three components together, those are what results in the revenue streams, which can be variable over time between the three.
That sounds really neat. So the treasury and the vault are more like the safe place, and the portfolio there's more risk allocated to it.
Exactly. Yeah, you got it. And we're the portfolio. The interesting part about that, the way we've designed collective finance. I mean, Kill, you know this, but I'm a big angel investor. So is Cripsom, and we feel that angel investors are very very important to protocols, and they can bring a lot more to the table than just money, right? So we've
They are.
created. Yeah, so what we've created is something called the Angels Table that's going to really serve as almost a de facto board of directors or advisory board that's going to help guide us in some of these decisions. So, for example, when it comes time to mobilize the portfolio and how we want to do that, our angels are really going to give us some significant feedback and guidance. So it will be a protocol driven decision for some of these as well.
Oh, okay. Cool. And do you also plan to do like a crypto Shark Tank or something like that?
That would be awesome.
That would be a lot of fun, absolutely. But no, that's one of the things that I've always loved participating as an angel. I think I know some of our current angels in collective finance now the same way, and there's so much that these folks bring to the table, whether it's networks, whether it's ideas. So we're really trying to harness that in collective finance for the good of the protocol.
Yeah, yeah. If you combine the synergies every individual brings to the table, you can really multiply and leverage everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we believe that. And it's the same way our relationship with Vertek, collective finance, we're going to be able to do what we want to do because of what's available on the decks and what Vertex brings there too. So it's really pretty unique and synergistic the way it all works out.
Yeah, yeah, and we just have
Got that
started.
right, my friend. Just getting warmed up.
Okay, great. Is there something else you want to add about collective finance itself?
Yeah, I think we'll talk a little bit about the XCLF because I do see some questions down there as well regarding that. So
Yes, please.
XCLF will be the main way to participate within the collective finance ecosystem, and right now, or when we launch, the only way that you can truly gain exposure. Truly gain the upside of everything and participate in the ecosystem. So, XCLF will be our lock staking. And so the way to get XCLF is you create your CLF Bitcoin position on the Vertek DEX. You stake that position on the Vertek DEX to start earning the dual emissions, which will be in the Vertek and CLF token. Then you take that stake because you get the receipt after you stake on the DEX, and you lock stake that receipt gauge into the collective finance platform. So when you lock into the platform, you have 4 different options of time frames for locking. So 30-day, 60-day, 90-day, and 180-day. And so you can have positions in all 4 different pools if you feel. It'll act similarly to the Deep Blue Bank. And so you can kind of capture the rewards for all the different pools. And the 180-day pool will be receiving the heaviest weight for the rewards. And so we have that. Actually, let me grab the infographic here because I have something ready for it. We have everything broken down into weights of how the rewards will be distributed. And obviously the 180-day, the longest time you can lock, will be receiving the most rewards out of everything that gets distributed. So in the 180-day, you'll get 37.5% of the rewards given. In the 90-day, you'll get 27.5% of the rewards given. And then 60-day is 20% and 30-day is 15%. So yeah, if you want to capture the most rewards of the staples, the CLF, the C Gold, the Bitcoin, you'll be participating and locking in the 180-day tier. And so to touch on that as well, anytime that you decide to compound or put back into a position, it will reset the lock timer. But you're also totally available to compound or put back into the different pools like the 30-day or the 60-day, the 90-day. And yeah, that's kind of the gist of the XCLF lock staking.
I think one of the things that probably deserves a little more attention in there is the rewards of the lock staking system because it's not, these weren't just thought of randomly. So whenever, as Crow mentioned, when you lock your stake position there and you get XCLF, the rewards are going to be minimum threefold. We're trying to work this in fourfold, but that being CLF, a seed gold, or actually seed tokens, a stable coin, and then we're trying to add some Bitcoin in there as well. This is really, really important because this offers participants a very healthy way to continue in the protocol or take profit however they see fit. So, for example, let's say you're getting all 4 of those rewards. If you want to increase your position in the C Gold USDC pool, no problem. You have those tokens right there already. You don't have to acquire them. If you You want to take some profit with the stables, but yet increase your XCLF position, no problem, you can do that, right? So there's healthy ways for participants both to take profit as well as to recompound into their positions, right? So the reward setup is really unique and special and directed in that manner.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah. You
very good
basically
point.
also don't have to sell the protocol native tokens.
Yeah, that's like a key point, is that you're not just getting more inflationary rewards of like the same token that you put in. We wanted to make sure that we were rewarding these participants with outside revenue, not just more CLF tokens, because we all know how that works and how that goes with all these Ponzi-nomic type projects where you stake X token to receive more of that token, and it's just a consistent loop. So yeah, no, we're not doing that. We're here to provide real rewards that have real value behind them, like stables, Bitcoin, the C Gold tokens, and then the extra bonus is just more CLF tokens that you can choose to do whatever you want with.
You can really get a little bit of exposure to everything. When we talked about this on the AMA with Serenity last night, but you get with CLF, you get the traditional volatile DeFi type token, right? That could moon and potentially go the other way. Then you move down the chain. Then you have your Bitcoin there, which I think all of us believe, who's in this space, that we have way more room to run out the upside than we do on the downside, right? Then on
Yeah.
top of that, you're going to have exposure to gold, right? And you'll be able to follow that price action. And then you'll have stablecoin exposure as well. So you really get all four of those pieces mixed in. And however you want to play the game, you can do it. If you want to decrease your risk profile, you have that opportunity. If you want to become more aggressive, again, just that same opportunity. So all of that potential exposure is built in the collective finance, we think.
It's very well thought through.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
And how about the ratio and the liquidity itself? Is it 50-50, or have you decided to do some other ratios, or how is it going?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we obviously we're going to be utilizing the balancer tech as much as possible, and so that's going to come in with the weighted pools. So for the CLF token, it's going to be more weighted towards CLF, and then for the C Gold token, it's going to be more weighted towards the C Gold. So for CLF, I think we're doing a 70-30 split, and then for C Gold, we're doing a 80-20. And so the higher weight is going to be on the native tokens, so CLF and then C Gold. So you can, for the C Gold position, it'll be really more focused on gaining exposure to the commodity asset rather than the stable coin.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And before anybody gets worried, I think NP will be able to explain this a lot better than Chrome or myself could. But you're not going to have to worry about impermanent loss exposure on the commodity side, right? Just because of the way the balancer, the DEX, and that technology is set up. I don't want to put my foot in my mouth because I cannot explain this like NP can, but just know that this has been something we've discussed extensively in the past, and it's set up that way intentionally. Another sort of, I don't know if this is a little piece of alpha, but we've talked about this before. But this is great for the DEX as well as participants in collective finance. When we do the pre-sale, instead of people getting back CLF tokens, right? So say you put in $1,000 in the pre-sale, traditionally you'd get $1,000 worth of CLF back. We're going to actually be giving people back liquidity positions, right? So if you put in $1,000, you'll be getting back $1,000, or I guess in the pre-sale it'll be a 10% kick. So think about an $1,100 liquidity position that is CLF and Bitcoin. What that's going to do, it's going to result in a large amount of liquidity from jump, and it's also going to give participants the way to immediately get the best yield farming rewards and jump into a locked position most efficiently and cheaply, right? So we think that's going to be a really unique way of handling the pre-sale that's going to be, again, good for collective, good for the DEX, and good for the participants.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then there comes all the water advantages on top of that to earn additional yield.
Yep,
Yep.
absolutely. And I think with the DEX and the multi-token and weighted pools, obviously one of our goals down the road is that we have a pool that has C gold, C diamond, C silver. Maybe we have a stable in there. Maybe we have a little bit of Bitcoin in there as well. But it almost provides ETF-like exposure, yield earning exposure, which would be super appealing, I think. So, that will be down the road. And the only reason we can do that is because of Vertex.
Yeah, yeah. It's not only really cool because you have a mixed setup of commodities, but it also balances itself out, and that's something you can't find on the market, on the classic market at least.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's going to be key. Like Vertek is 100% one of the key points within Collective to really make this thing work how we expect it and how we want it to. Because yeah, we want to provide people with a really cool and awesome opportunity to gain exposure to these commodities, and this is definitely the place to be. Um, the last thing we'll probably touch up on here before going on to some questions, I think, are the NFTs. Something we haven't completely talked about yet. So, Doc, if you want to talk about the Angel NFT, I'll take the pre-sale.
Perfect. Sounds good. Yeah, the Angel NFT, I like this one. It's my favorite. Surprise, surprise. But no, our Angel NFT is going to be our most robust and most exclusive NFT for sure. So the idea behind the Angel NFT, every participant, all of our angels, based off of their entry, will have one, if not multiple, Angel NFTs. So these have not only internal utility with some tax benefits and breaks and things like that. But most importantly, they have the best rewards out of all of our NFTs. The Angel NFTs will specifically get rewards in CLF emissions. We have some dedicated just for those NFTs. They're also going to be the only NFT that ever gets rewards in all of the C tokens. So Angel NFTs will receive rewards in C Gold when it's out. They will also receive rewards then in C Diamond and C Silver whenever those tokens launch. And again, they'll be the only NFTs who gain exposure to all of those. And then the final really big bonus, the Angel NFT, and then this isn't quite finalized yet, but as part of the Angel package, we're going to be pulling a certain portion of the percentage of the C Gold liquidity after about 60 days to distribute this to our angels. We think that we might do this through the NFT route, which would give our angels some incentive to hold on to those and give them intrinsic value. So, and there's going to be a really, really limited supply of those. They will be transferable, they will be tradable, and any rewards attached to the NFTs will go with the NFT.
Okay, great. And then how affordable are they?
Well, I think how affordable are they? That's all. It's a relative question. So, right.
Yeah.
So our our angel package right now is set up with a minimum entry point of $5,000, and it's one angel NFT per every 5,000. However, we've in some special circumstances where we've made some other arrangements and everything too. So we tell everybody, if you're interested in being a collective finance angel or seed round investor, but you're just not sure of things, all you have to do is reach out to one of us. We're readily available. We can give you guys some references and everything as well there too. But if you're interested in that end, just reach out to us individually.
Yeah, that was
Great.
a great
Okay.
explanation of that one. I can't remember if you brought up there is also part of the NFTs is going to be a little tax reduction within our ecosystem. So I'll quickly touch up on that. Is we'll have a little bit of a kind of like a claim tax and little taxes throughout the ecosystem, which will be paid in the CLF token, and so that's going to help to mitigate, burning as well as providing back to the treasury. So there's going to be these small little taxes. They're not going to be heavy at all, so don't expect like paying lots of money for these. But basically, the NFTs, the Angel one will give you a 50% discount on all the taxes, so you'll have to pay 50% less. And then the pre-sale NFT, which I'm just about to go into, will also have a small little reduction, but it's less than 50%. It'll be 20%. So the pre-sale NFT is going to be a C Gold NFT. So it's going to be focused on rewards in the C Gold token. And the way that you can acquire this NFT is by participating in the pre-sale round and spending $1,000 or more. So for every $1,000 you spend, you'll get one pre-sale edition NFT, which is the C Gold one. So this NFT will only be receiving rewards in C Gold over time. So if you want to gain exposure to gold over time, this will be the NFT for you. It has the 20% tax reduction as well as CLF tokens as well. So it's similar to the Angel NFT, except it's only going to be receiving the C Gold. So yeah, that'll be something for the pre-sale participants. If you guys want to get in, $1,000, that'll get you a pre-sale NFT and you can start to earn some passive gold over time.
Yeah, a few other quick points on that too. We will be doing promotions leading up to the pre-sale where people will have chances to win, maybe getting NFTs for less than 1,000, that type of thing as well. So we know all of these price points are a little bit high, so we just want to put out there that there will be chances for everybody to sort of get involved how they want. The other important thing is that this won't be where our NFT collection stops. We will be launching a new NFT to accompany each new C token. So for example, when we come out with C Diamond and C Silver, there will be a specific NFT with such rewards tied to those tokens as well. And we'll probably do additional fundraising that's built around those NFTs at the time of those new C token launches.
Okay, and the Angel NFTs are also future proof to collect rewards from C Diamonds, for example, as well.
Yep, that is
Exactly.
correct.
Yep. And they're going to
Okay.
be the only NFT. The Angel NFTs will be the only NFT that you get rewards from all of the C tokens down the road. And once we close our Angel round here and we're done, that's it. There's no more being printed ever.
Yep. There was actually a question. How many pre-sale NFTs are available? There will only be 500 max available pre-sale NFTs.
Okay, great. Do you feel like you want to touch up on anything else, or should we switch to the questions?
Let's jump into some questions.
Yeah, no, we're good. I think we covered pretty much everything, so let's do it.
Okay. Excuse me. Honkadu is asking, mostly we see gold-based blockchain projects. Interesting advanced strategy comparing them about Angel Ride. What is planned total figure that you guys seek to seek investment? So what's the total you want to achieve?
I'm assuming this is related to the Angel round based off of the question. So we were putting our initial hard cap on the Angel round at $100,000, and we are knocking on that door. So things will be closing. We have with regard to the pre-sale, soft cap, hard caps, and how long it's going to run. We are discussing that and we have a range, but we haven't finalized it yet. So I don't want to say what those caps are going to be in the pre-sale yet. But hard cap from a dollar standpoint for Angel round, 100K.
Oh, so it's basically only 20 Angel NFTs and that's it.
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
no, I don't want to say, I don't want to put an exact number on 20 Angel NFTs because, again, it depends on the size of the investment. We ran the special where people have gotten, more additional sort of a BOGO on the Angel NFTs at times. So, but there's only going to be as many Angel NFTs essentially as for paid for or arranged for in that seed round.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay, would you like to pick another question?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just reading through a little bit right now. So this guy, Johnson, is asking, asking, what are the ways in which I can increase the value and power of the different NFT in the project? Once this is achieved, what are the benefits to the users of having the best NFTs in the project? This would increase the likelihood of improving performance or profits, question mark. Um, so it's an interesting question. What are the ways in which you can increase the value and power of the different NFT in the project? So I guess it's totally up to a user on what they want to gain exposure to. Um, if you want to be an angel and get rewards in all of the C tokens, then that'll definitely be the one for you. If you want to see exposure to gold, silver, and diamonds down the line, if you're more into gold, then you could just focus on acquiring a C Gold pre-sale edition NFT. Um, yeah, it's basically all up to a user on how they want to maximize profits and where they want to gain the most and what they see fit. So if you're a gold bug, then you might want to be acquiring a bunch of pre-sale edition NFTs. But if you're more of a connoisseur and want to get a little bit of everything, then the angel round will be for you.
So, and something else to remember about the NFTs that they're going to be you're going to be able to trade them, sell them, put them on the marketplace on the decks as well. So they'll have an intrinsic value there in addition to their utility and their rewards.
Okay, okay. There's another question from Johnson Bryan. Will there be a buyback system or token burning in the future? Or would you like to touch up the tokenomics?
Yeah, absolutely. So for the CLF token, we definitely do plan on helping to burn and mitigate the supply. So there'll be 10 million tokens at launch, and there'll be, as I said, there'll be little mechanisms throughout the ecosystem, like taxes that you pay with the CLF token, so that we can burn some, send some to the treasury. But yeah, there definitely will be plans down the line, depending on the market conditions and how we see fit, how well the portfolio is doing, and yeah, it'll also be up to governance vote as well. So a key part of the project will be governance. So that'll be with the angels as well as just ex-CLF holders. So we'll be making votes where people can help decide. And that could definitely be a part of it, where maybe we have some extra capital in some period of time and we say, here's some options of where we can put it, and that'll go up to vote. And one of those might be buyback and burn of CLF. So definitely is on the table. And yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, if I
Joshua,
can add, sorry, Kim, I
no,
was going to
go
say
ahead, please.
if I can add on to that too, I just want to say this. In my opinion, burning tokens is something that needs to be done under necessity or need, and have a definitive goal in mind when you're doing that, right? So I think, as Chrome said, we have mechanisms that we can put into place from a different standpoint, but we want to make sure that there's that requirement that we need to burn tokens before we're committing just for the sake of burning, right? Again,
Yeah, yeah.
this isn't a rebased token. It's not a seniorage type model. So we will build in. There's some intrinsic mechanisms built in. We can add on to those as well. And then I think, Chrome said, through the governance as well as our angels table, we plan to sort of address this in real time in a fluid manner as we move on.
Oh, okay, that's good. And how high will be the launch price of the CLF token?
Yeah, good question. So the pre-sale price, the buy-in price will be at 70 cents, so 0.0 or 0.70, and then the launch price, of which the CLF token will launch, will be 0.77. So it'll be a 10% increase. So anybody participating in the pre-sale will get a 10% bonus for the VPTs that they'll be receiving.
Okay, and do you also have a pre-sale goal in mind?
So yeah, that's something Doc talked about a little bit. It's still something kind of being talked about right now internally, of where we want to set kind of the caps and everything. But generally, something close to 500,000 to 1 million, maybe even larger, depending on how things are looking. But yeah, that's still pretty open ended right now as we are lining up marketing and things like that.
And that's a really thick liquidity to start with.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the idea really, to be able to both on the gold as well as the CLF side start with as thick a liquidity as possible. And we have some definitive plans at launch to increase buy pressure and to decrease sell pressure and encourage locking, right? So, and again, we'll get into those. We'll talk all about that stuff as we get closer to the pre-sale and the launch and everything there.
Yeah.
Matador had a good question there too about the circulating supply. So Matt, no, there 10 million tokens are not just going to be available immediately. It's a linear 3-year basically emission set, and I think we have all the tokenomics laid out pretty well on one of our infographics there too. So, but
Yeah.
no, it's not just. Go ahead, Monkey.
It's
Sorry.
Yeah, it's roughly 45%, or it's 30 to 45% of the tokenomics will be essentially available at launch, and that'll be for angels, pre-sale participants, and the treasury, as well as a small part to the team. And then the last bit, so around 60 to 70%, will be vested over the course of 3 years and emitted as rewards for participants of the ecosystem. So yeah, at launch, you can expect around, I can't remember the exact numbers, but around 40% will be available. And that's just going to be broken up between the ecosystem, the participants, and then the rest of the tokens will be slowly emitted over 3 years.
Yeah,
Okay.
and exactly, and any large amount of tokens that even after at launch will be under the control of the treasury, right? So all the other tokens at launch are going to have direct, whether it's liquidity, angels, whatever it may be. So, but yeah, those we have those numbers out there. I'm sorry, I don't have them in front of me right now.
No, no problem. But I have another question. Is the vesting like linear? Is it front loaded?
Yeah,
Linear over
yeah,
3 years.
yeah. So basically, like dripped daily over 3 years.
Ah, okay, so it's like the same amount daily dripped.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay, okay, cool.
exactly. Which, and ultimately, the idea behind this is that collective finance is going to always have an underlying net asset value, right? That it's just not going to go to zero, whether it's through the gold, whether it's through our Bitcoin exposure, whatever it may be. And that net asset value should always be increasing. When you look at maybe even traditional business or finance, right? So what's going to be a representation of net asset value? It's going to be return or yield back to participants. So what's representative of that in collective finance? It's XCLF. So XCLF is almost like, I don't want to call it ownership because I don't think that's accurate, but having a position in XCLF entitles you, right, to all of those rewards and part of that position, that net asset value that's underlying collective finance, right? So there's that in and of itself will always provide a floor, in my opinion, to CLF, because at some point, even if the price always dropped out, you could get CLF, and it's going to, and if you could create liquidity and get locking and rewards for less than the value of what the assets are, then that would be one hell of an investment, right? So I think it's
Yeah,
a really big intrinsic difference with our protocol compared to others, that this underlying net asset value that's going to likely be increase over time will always provide a stability and a floor for the CLF token itself.
Yeah. Also, another thing to note too is that there is, I've seen another question like how plans for anti-bot mechanism for CLF, and yeah, so we do have um, a, I think it's a built-in swap fee, and it's going to be 5 in and 5 out, so that'll help mitigate against any bots or any front-running sandwich bots, stuff like that. So yeah.
There's also some code built in. We've had this question asked, and we thought about this before. Well, hey, why couldn't somebody just, buy a whole bunch of sea gold and then take it and put it into a liquidity pool on another DEX? They could, but we have some. I'm going to call it some intrinsic built secret code, tax code that we're able to sort of turn on and off like a switch. So if by chance, let's say a bad actor wanted to do that, it would actually end up being more beneficial to the protocol, because once we flip that switch, all the taxes paid on it go back to the treasury, and the DEX, the Vertek DEX, is exempt, so would work out well.
Oh, so basically it's like a sneaky switch where if they choose, for example, to put it on Pancake, the swap fees they would earn there, you will grab them before, basically.
Bingo. Yeah, yep, you got it. And then any of the tax fees there would go back to collective finance, and again, probably something better NP can explain, but where Vertec would be exempt. So it would be really the only place to, not the only place to trade it, but the most cost efficient place to trade those tokens. So at any rate, it's a fail-safe mechanism that we built in, so no one can steal our cake and eat it.
Yeah, that's really cool. I never heard of it before.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
think
yeah,
it's
yeah, it is cool. And like I said, I think we'll have NP will be able to explain things better than I can on the purely technical side of that.
yeah, yeah, we love MP for that part because like he knows so much about the coding and back end stuff that it's all so technical, but he's so good at explaining it.
Yes, indeed, yeah. Okay, great. Is there question we haven't covered yet? I don't think so.